Happy people, welcome to our tarot reading for the week of the 17th of February. I hope you're all well. I hope you've all had a good week. And I hope you're all looking forward to seeing what the tarot has in store for us this week. I certainly know I am. Let's have a look and see, shall we? Okay. So today I thought we would look at anxiety. Anxiety is an emotion that affects all of us from time to time. Some people more than others. And so I just thought I would look at the tarot with anxiety in mind today. So our first card, let's see, will be... okay, so we have the Five of Cups, and this is a minor arcana card. And we have the Five of Pentacles, which is another a minor arcana card. Two interesting cards here where anxiety would certainly prevail. And here we have the Ace of Pentacles. Well, I have to say, after these two cards, I'm really happy to see the Ace of Pentacles coming up here. So the good thing is that we've got three minor arcana cards here, which is very much about kind of like a state of being as opposed to something that's much, much, much deeper. And if we look at these cards in terms of, say, past, present and future, we can kind of have a look and see where anxiety might be, what the root cause of it might be. And here we could be looking at, you know, what's triggering it in the present. And here we would look at, say, the action that we can take to manage it. So if we look at the Five of Cups here, well, first of all, fives in tarot, and we've got two fives here, herald change. And different suits, they deal with change differently. So, for instance, the Cups, Cups people tend to be quite unsettled by the loss that kind of accompanies change, and they mourn the loss of the familiar. When Cups people are having, you know, if they have a stable, if they're emotionally stable, then, you know, and they look after their spiritual nourishment, then they can actually accept change more easily. However, if they don't, they can easily get lost in kind of like the memories of the past. So, and if we look at the five, what the five means for the Pentacles, Pentacles tend to have a tendency to accept that change is inevitable. And so they tend to prepare themselves for that. Otherwise, you know, they understand that they, you know, they prepare because of that inevitability. And so they may understand the value of money, but you can see with this card, they not particularly great. They don't particularly have that concept of holding on to it. So this can come from a poor sense of self-worth, especially, you know, where the Five of Pentacles are involved. So if we go back here to this five, the Five of Cups, if you look here, we've got three cups lying on their side, and here behind we have the two cups standing up straight. And when a person is really lost in the past and they're grieving that loss, and they're, you know, they can often not see what's happening in the present. They can often not see the good things that are around them. And so here, these two cups, they represent that there are new opportunities there whereas this person is concentrating on the 3 that have fallen. And this sort of symbolizes that sort of trance-like state of focusing only on the negative, even when kind of like all is not lost. It's only just seeing the negative stuff. And if you look here, you have the bridge. So this symbolizes that the way forward will be made clear when you focus on what is working and what is positive in your life. So you do need to turn around here and see these, these opportunities that are actually there. However, you need to process those feelings in order to be able to turn around. So, like grieving lost opportunities, they can blind you to other possibilities for happiness. Sorrow, acute isolation. This sort of card, it's a card of narrow-mindedness because, because the grief is blinding you, and it's blinding you to what's all around you. The thing is, in life, like grief and loss, they're unavoidable, and you could be looking at loss of a job, it could be a loss of a relationship, or it could even be recognizing that you've squandered wasted years, doing unsuitable things, or not preparing for your future, or being with somebody that was unsuitable, or remaining in a helpless situation. And you may be, that may have ended, and you're grieving that, and you're probably cross with yourself for staying in these situations. But this is all part of your growth. And it can, it does result in a deeper understanding of your life. If you're prepared to go through that process and understand where you've come from, then this will result in personal growth. Because sometimes a loss is an essential step towards, your ultimate journey, your ultimate destination. So this card is telling you that it's time to accept change and to process emotions following the end of a situation, whatever that situation is. Being a collective reading here, we're looking at all different kinds of situations. Now, I know, and we all know, that it can be difficult to snap out of it, but the 5 of Cups here, it does encapsulate that effect of our emotional state, the effect on our future opportunities and prospects, that you have to snap out of it in order to see what's around you. It's rumination, negative rumination. It's a luxury, and it's a luxury that's not going to fill you with any joy whatsoever. So this card is really telling you to focus on constructive things and focus on your dreams and your goals. Shift your focus. Break that sort of trance. Break the trance before they even start, or certainly when you do see them starting. And because, ruminating is such a time waster. You can actually deserve joy even when everything isn't perfect. So it's a sad card, and but it's certainly, we all go through these times, and it's a card that's saying you're going through that time, and this is a difficult time for you, but now is the time to snap out and move forward. Look around you. There is more to life than what you've lost. Now this sort of brings us then to the next card, and this is the 5 of Pentacles. Well, this is a card that doesn't, give one a great sense of joy either, does it? So, and now the thing is, with Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, is that this is very much, this is the card of poverty. It's known as the card of poverty. The thing is, poverty is not just a financial condition. This sort of state of poverty and neediness, it's not just a financial condition. It's very much a pervasive state of mind. And it may be the sort of self-talk that you give yourself. There could be like, I'm not very good at doing things, or I'm not very good with, or how on earth am I going to pay for that? I'm never going to get that job. I mean, there's hundreds of other people going for the same job, so why should I get it? These people will all be much better than I am. And then, why do things always happen to me? You know, why does nobody appreciate me? These are all examples of poverty consciousness. And I would suggest that whenever you hear yourself saying things like that, this is where you really need to snap out of it, because this card is a precursor to this card. And it's, all of these cards will link back to each other. And it's very much of, really and truly snap out of that. I must say, when I hear people saying things to me like, well, I'm never going to get that job because, I just think, well, no, you probably won't, because you're telling yourself that you won't. You've already set yourself up for that failure, that sense of failure. And that energy travels. So if you're sitting down in front of somebody for an interview, and you're thinking in your mind, I'm never going to get this, that energy is traveling from you to the person interviewing you. And or if you're in a relationship and you're thinking, oh my gosh, what is this person doing with me? You know, I don't deserve this person. Well, that message is traveling to that person. And because we do act out what we believe about ourselves. And so this is why I'm talking about a poverty consciousness, this pervasive state of mind. It's very much about self-esteem, and it doesn't actually matter whether you're rich or poor or in between. It actually has very little to do with money. It's how you feel about yourself. And I can absolutely tell you that self-esteem, it can eradicate this. If you build your self-esteem, it can eradicate this sense of poverty consciousness. But you absolutely have to overthrow, your old sense of your own belief about yourself. If your belief is that you're not good enough, you really need to overcome that. You need to work on yourself to overcome that. And because once you do, as I say, once you cut it out, then you can eradicate it. And when you eradicate it, then you can feel smart and capable and competent and confident, and you'll believe in your worthiness. But you do have to work for that. And that is a daily exercise. That's not, I've sorted that on Monday, it's done. Like, no, this is a daily exercise. So what this card is doing here, it's alerting you really to any situation or any person that is, that's making you feel less than. And that person could be yourself. So it's, is it yourself that's making you feel less than? Is it somebody you're in a relationship with you that's making you feel that? Is it a work colleague? Is it the environment that you're in? So it's really time to create boundaries and to make them strong boundaries. And to do this, you really need to work on yourself. That means you need to exercise, you need to meditate. You don't need to meditate, but do things that are going to help you. So if it's meditation, meditate. If you need to study to improve, something, study. If you need to exercise, if you need to just get fit, if you need to look at your nutrition, whatever it is, work on yourself. Do whatever it takes to make you feel good about yourself, to make you value yourself. And stop giving yourself away when you're running on empty, because often again, it's people who have low self-esteem that will jump to everybody else's demands. And so this again is where you need to put up boundaries with, say, needy individuals, and learn to say no. Learn to say no. I can absolutely remember the day that I learned to say no. I was totally being taken, a situation happened where somebody rang me up and said, oh, my children would love to come and play with your children. And I was actually really busy. I was studying at the time. And I thought, oh gosh, this is not a good time. But then I thought, oh, maybe I could do it the break, and, it'd be nice to have a cup of coffee with this person and let the children all play together. And so I said, oh, okay, fine, come around at a certain time. And she said, great, well, I'll pop them around at, say it was 11 in the morning. And then I'm going to pop into town and meet up with a friend for lunch. And I'll come back and pick them up at about 2. And I thought, oh, hang on a moment. I don't remember that being what we discussed. But I was, I was just sort of really shocked, and I went, oh, okay. And then I sat down, and I could feel I was really, really cross about this, really cross about it. And I thought, well, if you're really that cross about it, do something, this. And so I called her back and said, look, I'm really sorry, but that really wasn't what I had in mind when we had this conversation. I thought you were going to come around here for a cup of coffee with your children. And she was like, oh, I don't know where you got that idea, and blah, blah, blah. And anyway, it got to a point then where I had to say, look, I'm really sorry, but I can't have your children around today. I'm very, very busy. I can't be looking after any more children. And it didn't end well, in the sense that she was not happy with me. And she really did treat me like as if I had done something terrible to her. And so that was a real eye-opener. And I had to really stand my ground and say, well, I'm really sorry you think like that. And I'm really sorry that that's how you feel. But today is not a good day. And I just found that I had to really, really, as I say, stand my ground. That did not come easy to me at that time. It's coming to me a lot easier these days. But at that time, that was when I absolutely remember the first time I learned to say no, and to be okay with saying no. So I'm telling you, speak up for yourselves. Help others, absolutely help others. But there are people that can help themselves. So help those people that are willing to help themselves. There are people who cannot help themselves. You can help those too. But create your boundaries. Know how far it is that you're willing to go. And go for your best opportunities. So don't waste your energy on people who don't respect you, and don't put your money into situations or people who deplete you. So there's a really, very strong message in this card here. And moving on to the Ace of Pentacles, well, the Ace of Pentacles is really telling you that if you do the work here, this is going to be your reward. Because the Ace of Pentacles represents the beginning. And it represents a desire to forge ahead, to take charge, to lead from the front. And it's very much a spiritual card. It's a gift, because you've got this hand coming out of the cloud. And this is a spiritual gift. So you're looking at an initial idea or a motivation. Now, there's no guarantees with this card, but whatever idea you come up with this card, then that idea, when this card is involved, that idea is worth pursuing, because the Pentacles path is a path of rewards, but it's also a path of rewards for commitment. And Pentacles know what Pentacles are striving towards. They strive towards peace and a comfortable environment in later years. And so the Ace of Pentacles represents a practical opportunity to start a new project. And so it's telling you here that there is a new opportunity being presented, but you need to turn around to see it. And so it's illuminating your pathway towards, a wealthier state of mind. Prosperous thinking. And, break that sense of poverty consciousness and move into wealth consciousness. So prosperous thinking is, it begins with knowing your self-worth. And this is what we talked about here. And it's about expressing gratitude for your existing blessings. So this card is very much about positive thoughts. It's about, existing blessings that are already there that you cannot see. And it's about, that you can entice more abundance towards you if you have positive thoughts, because they're like bees to honey. It's this energy thing that we talked about here, that whatever energy that you feel inside, you can project that outward. You can literally, attract that to you. But you have to do the work. And it's not just in your mind. You have to follow it through with practical, because pentacles are very practical. So, it's you may have these new opportunities, but it really does require you to do the work. So we're looking here at a garden here, and we know gardens take time. They take time, they take patience, and they take work and patience to grow. So what this card is doing, it's showing you that while you can change your mind to think positively, I am going to think, with wealth consciousness, I'm going to think really positively. It doesn't really mean that money is suddenly going to rain down from the sky. It doesn't mean that. It means that you must tend your mind like a garden. You need to weed out all of those negative thoughts and habits, and at the same time have patience with your unique growing process. So this little gateway here, that represents doors of success that are currently opening to you, but you need to turn around. And beyond that, we can see mountains. Now, mountains represent stability, and they represent reputation and overcoming obstacles. So, this may be a time, for instance, maybe to increase your public profile and be seen if you're working towards a financial or career or some kind of prospects like that, which will be something like that because we're looking at money. Pursue the opportunity and then you will create it. And you'll be able to create it if you're willing to do the work. And if you're willing to do the work, then abundance and success will follow, because pentacles are very much about abundance. And this card is telling you what can get in the way of that. So, we've got all these cards together, and the synchronicity between them, the synergy between them is really fabulous, because you're looking at this period of hardship, and that's kind of a loss that's both material, and it's a loss that's emotionally heartbreaking as well. So it's combining the combination is sort of like highlights the challenges of coping with financial struggles while also dealing with grief and loss. And it's a reminder that when one part of our life is in turmoil, that it can affect other areas as well. So these two cards together, they're encouraging you to acknowledge your feelings and to accept your current situation. And it's also a reminder that while you may be experiencing hardship, that hope and opportunities are still available to you. So, if you need to seek out help from your community, do that. You don't need to do this alone. And then if you look here, we have the Five of Cups and we have the Ace of Pentacles, and it's a really kind of bittersweet moment, because you have this real sense of loss and sadness about something, that has ended. But at the same time, there is now a new opportunity in order to receive something new. But you have to turn around. And so you may need to let go of something here in order to receive this something new. And it's at the same time very important that you process these feelings of loss and disappointment. Because now the Ace of Pentacles suggests that there is something better waiting for you on the other side. So here you have the Ace of Pentacles saying, focus on your material wealth and abundance. But the Five of Cups is also reminding you that material possessions do not necessarily equate to happiness. So you really need to find that balance. And then look at the Five of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. Well, here we're looking at a change in financial circumstances, and certainly a possible change in financial circumstances. And it can be quite sudden, really. So you may get a sudden influx of money that you may have to decide where are you going to best put that to make it work and to create that future, because Pentacles are about the long term. It's very much about being comfortable in future years. But the two cards here, they're highlighting the importance of finding a balance between material stability and spiritual well-being. Because the Ace of Pentacles, it encourages seeking financial security, while the Five of Pentacles suggests the need for humility and a clear understanding of your needs. So don't measure your self-worth based purely on kind of like shallow material gains. It's very much about pursuing a balance, a balance of life, for true happiness. So it's a very interesting and I think exciting trio of cards for this week. And I'm going to leave it at that. And yes, I'm quite excited about this. So I look forward to hearing from you. If this does resonate with you, do leave me a comment below. You can subscribe to this channel to be notified for the next reading. And if you would like to know more, you can book a private reading with me. You'll find my email address in the description of the video. So lovely people, I am going to love you and leave you and talk to you next week.